Thank you for joining the Syndicate Network and your host, Skywalker the Jedi. Skywalker the Jedi.
Yo, 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 what's going on, y'all? It is your boy Skywalker back at y'all with another one. Y'all could be anywhere else in the world right now, but you're here with me rocking out, and I appreciate that. Much love, everybody. Hope y'all had a wonderful week. Great Friday. Thank y'all for rocking out with the boy. Y'all could be anywhere else, but you're here with me, man. Much love. We got the homie J Mar 412 in the building. What's going on, J Mar? We got the wonderful Nessa Noel in the building. Thank you for being here, Miss Nessa. I think that we all appreciate your presence here. Much love. Antonio Lopez, SPR Dave, Frank C is in the building. Shout out to Frank C, man. Yeah, the age of the established comic book movie universe revivals are upon us. We about to get to it. We got Arthur in the building. We got the Prime in the building, right? I think the Prime is gonna be happy with this discussion. You know what I mean? What's going on? We got the homie, the good Austin saying replay crew. Oh wait, hashtag live crew. Hey, shout out to the dog. What's going on, bro? We got Island Mike in the house. What's going on, bro? We got the Curly Ray, a.k.a. Rebel Moon Theory in the building. Rebel Moon Nemesis issue 3 has released. Available now. Man, I was just looking at your post earlier about the Evoker class, bro. I was like, hey, man, shout out to Rebel Moon Theory, bro. You know what I mean? What's going on, David? Yeah, I'm glad all y'all here. You know what I mean? We about to have a wonderful conversation. And I want to say shout out to everybody in the live chat, and it's going to be on Replay Crew. Let's go ahead and get through this little opening, little rigmarole so we can get started with the show. Y'all already know to hit that like, share, subscribe, as well as that notification bell, so that you know when I'm going live or dropping a new video. You dig? Y'all already know about the hashtags that shook the world, right? Bro, they so against this Netflix shit. They didn't send Elon Musk out there, bro. This thing got crazy. How big does this go? Man, we still here rocking out, bro. Y'all think this a game, dog? Anyway, man, if you do want to rock out and get that conclusion to Zack Snyder's DC arc over on the Netflix platform or even in theaters, period, right? This is the campaign to rock out with. We only ask 3 rules of engagement, which are: be positive, please do not mix the hashtags, and also please do not tag, mention, quote, tweet, reply to anything of that sort anybody over at WBD, which is including but not limited to James Gunn. You dig? ZSJL to Netflix on YouTube and X are also platforms that you guys should be liking, sharing, subscribing to, and following, because all pertinent information will be coming from there, as well as myself and Apex Lux of the New Geeks. You dig? And if you want to sponsor a stream like the homie, the good Austin just did, whenever you guys give super chats, super thanks, super stickers, gifted memberships, anything like that, it is tallied up, and whoever donates the most will have the name scrolling across the bottom of a following stream. You dig? Much love. Let's get caught back up with the chat, and then we'll get started with the show. Right? Yeah. Says it's a distraction for the net. Yeah, I agree. And then we got Prime saying more people are waking up and turning against the living circus that is Gunn's DCU. Bro, crazy, bro. Yo, I know I struck a nerve last night because the bots was all up in my comments, bro. Afterwards, you know he's lying, right? You know he's lying, right? It isn't canceled. There just aren't any plans for season 3. There's just not any plans. He's like, get the fuck out. Yo, could y'all imagine? Look. I want you guys to imagine a world where Zack Snyder came out and said, you know what? There's just not any plans for Rebel Moon Part 3, guys. You know, I mean, I'm not ruling it out, but like as of right now, you're gonna see these characters pop up in other movies, right? You know, right, right. Imagine Zack Snyder came out and said, "Hey, there's no plans for Rebel Moon Part 3, and hey, guys." You're gonna see these characters pop up in other movies, right? But in terms of like a Rebel Moon Part 3, like you know, nah, it's just not gonna be that, you know. Could you imagine? Imagine, bro. Crazy. It's always something, bro. He said, how big does it go? Don't look in the Oracle. Larry Ellison is pushed for digital ID, and everyone give up their rights just because he wants all the data for his AI. He don't give a shit about cinema. Bro, it's crazy, bro. I just look, I ain't trying to stay on that, but that's crazy, dog. That, like, you know. He said they always have excuses for DC's failures. Superman wasn't expected to make money. Look, no, you know what? I'm glad that you said that, SPR Dave, because I'm about to. He said season 3 wasn't canceled. It was just never like, yeah, we were just never really planning on. Bro, imagine if Zack Snyder came and said, yeah, we were never really just planning on Rebel Moon Part 3, right? Like it was gonna be, you know. Would there be these people in my comments if somebody like if I would have came out here and said, "Hey guys, Rebel Moon Part 3 got canceled," would they be cut? Would they be over here? Hey, he's lying. He's lying. He's lying. But anyway, we about to get to it. He said, just didn't materialize, right? Yeah, but nah. Since it's their thing, it's like, he's capping, right? This doesn't mean what it obviously means, right? But we'll get to it. Actually, right now, because I think it's interesting that if you look around, I'm able to read the room per se, right? Which I don't know, it seems to be kind of an issue for certain peeps, right? But I'm very adept at reading the room, right? If you look around Hollywood right now, everybody seems to be in this space where they're kind of returning to what made money in the past and what made sense and everything of that nature, right? You know, and I don't think it's going to be anything different for what we're going to see over at, DC after this purchase goes through. Right? I mean, let's just read the room a bit, shall we? Right? Let me do this one first. Right? Since Prime was in here in such a good mood, right? Let's look at Transformers, right? This one is very, very interesting, right? Because Michael Bay was brought back earlier this year to take over Transformers, right? And this article says something different. I mean, and not really different, but interesting in Screen Rant. Look, it says Michael Bay, 60, reportedly returning for a new Transformers movie 8 years after $605 million disappointment. So 605 million was a disappointment, right? What movie just recently made around $605 million? And I wonder, right? But no, it's like, so 605 million was a disappointment, right? But this recent Superman movie, we see not too far from 615, right? I'm like, So 605 was a SPR Dave said, when the last photograph comes out, we need to go support that. Hey, I don't know what audience you think you're talking to, bro, but hey, I ain't the one, bro. Like, we support everything that you can't pull up. Never mind. I ain't about to go into all that. Ask the chat. But anyway, no, it's like, I think it's interesting that 605 million was a disappointment for Transformers, right? You have people who were in the he said that extra 10 million must have made a huge difference, bro. Yo, that was all, bro. It was like 605. Nah, 615. Now we bro, I can't believe he said they gonna learn, bro. And they are gonna learn, bro. We got wild card in the building. What's going on, wild card? But yeah, that's my point, right? It's like, when when you have it in plain English that, hey, 605 million was a disappointment for a franchise of this magnitude, right? And then you have people that was literally out here. Wait a minute, where's that video, bro? I'm glad I found that video. Do I still have it on here? I hope I do. Where'd it go? I thought I just played it the other day. See, I be moving my videos around sometimes, and I be having to shuffle stuff. Right? Oh, here we go.
Because this movie has to be the definitive Superman movie. And I would dare say it's probably going to be, it has to be the best Superman movie that's ever been made. Because the DC universe, this new DCEU, if it's anything less, it's a failure.
When you say that, are you saying like the quality of the film, or are we talking box office numbers like Man of Steel?
I'm both.
Yeah.
This movie has to be the best Superman movie of all time.
What's really interesting is there's this weird, like, I don't think that James Gunn's Superman is in competition with anything else. They're starting from scratch and building something new. The economics are not to be compared to something that happened over 10 years ago. They've spent the money on 2 movies.
Now it could end in the 600 million range. That would be a disaster. That would be somebody else should take over DC. Because, man, that would be really bad. I mean, I guess they could wait to greenlight further projects because we'll have our answer to this by the end of the summer. Maybe that's the answer. See where it ends. But if it ends with a 6 in front of it, that's really bad.
Ooh, I didn't say these things. Right? I didn't say these things. Right? Crazy, bruh. He said, Sky, I know you go to it all, but not only do I go to it all, this whole community, we support everything that we can support over here. For sure. We pull up. And then everything that people can't make it to, we try to be there for, you know what I mean? To give you guys that inside look, right? We go to the movie premieres, we go to the double features, we go to the Rebel Moon release parties in New York, you know what I'm saying? We pull up. If it's something that's gonna be connected to this man's projects, we gonna try to pull up, yo, because we're real fans like that. It's come from the heart, dog. You know what I mean? But even these things, he said, we go to Rebel Moon Sandbox VR games, bro. Yeah, bro. Do I still got one of them loaded up here?
All right. Time to blow off some steam and dance. Yeah!
Y'all don't even know about that, bro. He said we played. Oh man, he said we played the Rebel Moon, the Rebel Moon mobile games, bro. It's crazy, dog. Man, we pull up, bro. He said R&B has been very quiet of late. I wonder why. Because these clips is out here. He said, you gonna learn, bro. He said I literally went to the red carpet, bro. Pulled up, bro. We pull up. Live streaming, interviewing, right? DJ. You know, clean as the board of health, dog. Steppers on my feet. You understand? Look, don't get me. Oh my goodness. But anyway, he said, I wish I could pull up. Yeah, for sure. And that's why we try to go to everything that y'all can't go to, and we try to bring y'all there, that fans perspective, dog. I love being able to do that for the community, man. It's dope. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, if we don't do it, who will, bro? Who else be doing this, dog? See, this is why I didn't want to go on this kind of rant, bro. Anyway. Back to what I was saying, though. But this is why these franchises are failing. They ain't got no soul to them, bro. They taking the soul out of everything, man. They corporatizing all this shit, and it's all been failing. It's all like, yo, they're seeing the message, right? Transformers is a prime example. They let critics determine what the fans wanted, bro. They let critics get in the way of that. All this was because of critics, dog. Oh my God, Transformers movies are terrible, but they make money. People are going to go watch it. So why are you still assaulting everything, bro? He said, prime example, no pun intended. Nah, pun intended. Said Sky make a great Green Lantern, much will in it. Man, I'm just saying, man. It's like, yo, when were they gonna learn, right? We've been shown, the box office has been shown, and that's been the problem with movie theaters. That's been the issue. They sat there and they tried to put bullshit in theaters for like an extended period of time, and people just didn't really want to go see a lot of this stuff. And they blamed it on everything else except the shit that was staring them in the face, which was the quality issue. They're not giving the people what they want. If you give the people what they want, they will show up. Now you got anime in theaters putting up numbers. So is it really the fact that people don't want to go to theaters, or is it what is in theaters is bullshit? This last Superman movie, trash, bro. But look, it ain't even just Transformers, right? It ain't even just Transformers. Just recently, you got Kirsten Dunst talking about Spider-Man 4. I don't think this is an accident. Right? You got Sam Raimi, who's been talking about Spider-Man 4. Tobey Maguire, bruh, everybody wants Spider-Man 4. This would do numbers. He said the original Transformers trilogy is pretty awesome. And not gonna lie, never bothered watching anything past that. Once Shia left, I lost interest. Yo, I ain't even gonna cap. I think if Shia LaBeouf comes back to Transformers, bro, that shit's gonna do $3 billion. No, I was just keeping a buck, bro. If Shia comes back, bro, it's gonna be crazy. Can you imagine Sam Witwicky coming back? Like, it's gonna, I don't know. I don't know. He said it's more than that. He said anime and video game films are dominating comic book because the comic book movie genres are not giving the people what they want. But whenever they do, they make money. So we can't even look, like it or not, right? I don't think Deadpool and Wolverine was like the greatest comic book movie, but that shit gave people something that they wanted to see, and it made mad money. Spider-Man No Way Home gave the people something that they wanted to see, and it made mad money. I think Avengers Doomsday, I don't care how much of this negative talk is going on, I don't think that movie is going to be anything less then it's gonna clear $1 billion easily. You know, I don't know where it's gonna end up. I don't even look. We're gonna talk about that next year, but I do think that comic book movies have a lot more juice left that can be squeezed. Pardon the, but it's just you got to get the people what they want. Said Hollywood's gonna be replaced. Hey man, I saw a video earlier with what was it? Matthew McConaughey, Randy Quaid, and who else? Woody Harrelson talking about opening up like a whole bunch of stuff out in Texas, right? They over there talking about how they got all the landscape and the stuff to take over, for Hollywood, right? So it's like, what are you gonna do? What's gonna happen? He said, bro, they putting all the Raimi Spider-Man films back in theaters in a few weeks too. Not only that, they're putting a never before seen version of Spider-Man 2 out, which is, in my opinion, still one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. Facts. He said, bring back Shia. Man, bro, if Shia comes back, it's going to do... all right. What's going on, Mama Bear? Thank you for pulling up, right? I hope you had a wonderful day. He said, the Batman 2 writer said he has a pitch for Spider-Man 4. Toby's Spider-Man balancing fatherhood and being Spidey. I mean, look, what did Mikey Sutton say, bro? I was about to say, what did Mikey Sutton say? 100%. Yep, Doomsday is going to be crazy. And I'm about to get to that in 1 second. Right? Says Deadpool 3 opened the door for the revival of established comic book movie universes. Absolutely, right? Brought Blade back. Everybody wanted to see Blade, right? Yeah. Nah, Spider-Man, I think it was playing at some theater, the 2.1 version, but it wasn't like, it was at like some theater. I didn't know where that place was. I was like, I had never heard of this place. Oh, what's going on, S. Warrior? He said, I can't wait to yell out, Bonesaw is ready. Right? Yep. But, not only do you got Kirsten Dunst talking about, Spider-Man 4, right? But something else going on, right? Is you got Keanu Reeves talking about Constantine 2. Right? Is Sky just making this up? These are the things that people want to see. Spider-Man 4, Constantine 2, right? We want more Transformers. We want Shia LaBeouf back in Transformers, right? We had at one point Keanu Reeves, Constantine, trying to connect to the Snyderverse, which would have had Keanu Reeves as Constantine interacting with Ben Affleck's Batman, right? So when this thing was first kind of coming into fruition, and the whole DC, and the whole Snyder DC thing was still in play behind the scenes. That's the kind of stuff that we're talking about, right? Giving the people what they want to see. We would want to see Keanu Reeves as Constantine interacting with Ben Affleck as Batman, right? Like, these are things that, look, I'm talking slow like this because I need people to it's crazy that this seems to be so, like, such a foreign, concept for people, right? Actually giving the people things that they would want to go pay to see on the big screen. I know this sounds crazy. It sounds outside the box. It sounds ludicrous. It sounds dangerous almost. Right? These are obviously concepts that are foreign, right, to what is currently going on in Hollywood in terms of mindsets and thinking, right? Says Sky, the original New Gods movie was original. Yo, yeah, I think even before Ava DuVernay signed on, if I'm not mistaken. Of course it was. All that stuff was going to be connected. Like, everything that was coming out at that time was going to be connected. Osa Fresh says, I don't know how Sony fumbled the chance of making The Amazing Spider-Man 3, but found the time to make Madam Web. Well, I'll tell you how, Osa Fresh, because Marvel was not letting them use Spider-Man. Like, I know that they be saying that they could use them. They couldn't use them, bro. Like, I need everybody to sit back and think about this, right? To think that they would just choose to not put Spider-Man in theaters is kind of crazy, right? Like, it almost seems ludicrous, right? But if you think about it, they kind of did the same thing with Fantastic Four, right? Before they got the Fantastic Four back, because if you remember, they canceled their comic book, bro. Right? It was all these things that they had going on surrounding these characters, and they just made it really hard for these companies to be able to use them until they ended up selling them back or selling their company to them full stop. Right? Yeah, no. I'm talking about after. Right? Yeah, I don't know. I'm talking about this recent stuff after, like, No Way Home and all these movies that were still coming out. He says, Sky, and now these clowns see why Gunn would love for Cavill to play a DCU character. He knows the fans want Cavill back as Superman. This mofo thinks he's slick. Bruh, ain't nobody going for, bruh, Cavill ain't going back to be anybody but Superman, bro. Why the hell would he? Why would you downgrade your... Look, let me explain something to you guys, all right? When you're in Hollywood, right, you're getting paid off of, like, your standing in terms of your, name on a call sheet, where it falls at. And this is, I ain't no actor, but this is from what I can just glean from having a little bit of understanding of how this works, and how these things work in similar scenarios, but just like outside of Hollywood in business structure, right? But I'm thinking, name on a call sheet, whether it's first, second, all these things, the number of awards and accolades, I'm pretty sure. But I know damn well that you playing Superman and you coming back to DC to play anything less than fucking Superman is gonna like harm where you're gonna be able to try to negotiate in the future, right? Because now you're talking about taking some, when you were the S top tier fucking superhero character, and now you're an A or B level character, and now you're trying to go back and you're off playing Highlander, you're Geralt as the Witcher. You're like, man, why would you go for anything less than that guy if you're Henry Cavill? That is that just wouldn't make much sense to me, right? Like in my field, if I were to go back into there like full time, there would be nowhere there'd be no way, no how that I would take anything less than like the top position at a location, like, because it just wouldn't make sense. Why? Why would I come back and be like, oh my God, yeah, I'm going to take some lesser role than I had when I left? Right? That just wouldn't make much sense. And that's before we even get into the relationship with the people that was there that I would have to go work. But that's way before we even get into that. You know what I mean? That's crazy, man. He said Cavill wants nothing to do with Gunn after he didn't hire it. Hey, that's what's up, man. Right? He's like, bro, what the hell? He said, don't know if you're at all into the Tron franchise, but fans are disappointed that they aren't continuing the legacy story. It was so good, bro. I love that movie for real. That fucking soundtrack is amazing. One of my favorites, and that's dope as hell. But man, shout out to the dog, Arthur, bro. Shout out to the dog, man. Bruh, I appreciate that, man. This is dope as hell, man. Arthur with the hundo. You understand me? Saying, hey, Sky, wanted to send a quick message to say thank you, bro. I appreciate all the hard work and dedication you put into your streams and this community. Keep up the amazing work. Sell Snyderverse to Netflix. Yo, shouts out to the dog, man. Hey, that's dope, Arthur. I appreciate that, man. Look, I'm gonna just have a conversation with you real quick, Arthur. It's just me and you right now, man. What's crazy is, bro, is that I when I first started on YouTube, man, like, y'all can go look at this, man. My first video, bro, was about the Snyderverse. And before I made this channel, I had been thinking for a while about doing YouTube, because I was just always on YouTube kind of, and like just always kind of watching people and watching all these different stuffs about all these different topics. And I was like, yo, man, I think that, I could probably do this, man. And I was sitting there thinking, and I was like, yo, what am I going to talk about? Right? I was like, I think I can do YouTube, but what would I talk about? And then I had the question, and it just, like, I really had to ask myself. I was like, what's it going to be? And what I asked was, what can you talk about ad nauseum and never get tired of talking about it? Right? Like, that was the one thing. And when I asked myself that question, it was a very quick answer. It was like, oh, it was like the Snyder shit. Like, I was like, man, like, I'm very much so invested in seeing this thing come back. Like, I have to see it. And not only at that time was I passionate about it, but I was also like kind of seeing little things happen around me and like little kind of tips and nods that would show me like, yo, this is what you need to be talking about. And it would be the craziest of things, right? Like how I like randomly ran into one of the guys that worked on Rebel Moon. And this is like well before anything came out. Like I ran into him well before. I mean, I don't even think we had gotten any like pictures yet, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Like Rebel Moon was just a concept in people's minds. And I ran into this guy at the theater and got to have a conversation with him. And then I would just have like these like little random conversations with people, and some Zack Snyder stuff would come up. And then I'd be like, what the hell? Like, why am I the one having this conversation right now? Right. And it was just all these things that was just kind of letting me know that I was on the right path in talking about this. And I really was like, yo, this is what I want to do with my channel. Like I want to help bring the Zack Snyder stuff back. And you know, I just want to be a part of that no matter how I can, right? And you know, throughout my journey on YouTube, I started out hopping on other people's channels and things like that, and kind of bounced around and was collaborating with a bunch of different people, and a few of them I thought we was all homies and on the same path, and it turns out that we really weren't. And we've just kind of had to continue building this thing as we've gone along. And to be on this journey with everybody has just been like the dopest thing. Like I've said, like, yo, I've been in the military, went to like, you know, not only just basic training, but I've deployed overseas to Iraq. Like, you know, in terms of like, this has been one of the most difficult things I've ever done, is having to, you know, be at the kind of like the forefront of this thing. But at the same time, it's been you guys and the community that have really held me and the rest of the Cool Table and the rest of the syndicate up. And like, we've just been able to try to do these things for y'all, and we try to continue to get doper and doper with it and just do as much as we can. And we've just really been doing it off of the strength this whole time. And yeah, it's just, look, I'm very much so grateful and humbled by the donation. And since I'm kind of newer to seeing you around, I just want to kind of have that conversation with you, because yeah, some of y'all is newer to the chat and y'all may not know, but yeah, it's really been like the entire time that I've been doing this, it's been with this mission of like helping get this thing, you know what I'm saying, done, no matter how I could, because I've understood what the severity of this thing is. So much love, Arthur. And I really hope I didn't babble on for too long, y'all. Now let's get to some drops and some fun, and I'll be right back. You dig?
Hold on, Drake. You ain't gonna say nothing else before, you know, we continue the party?
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna just need a moment of silence for this. Psst. I see dead people.
Hey, mustard on a beat, how deep, bro. Any rap nigga, he a freak, though. Man down, call an ambulance, tell him breathe, bro. Nail a nigga to the cross, he walk around like, what's up with these draconian ass niggas trying to see Compton? The industry can hate me, fuck them all in they mama. How many op really got? Mean it's too many options. Finish pass on his body, I'm John Stockton. Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boogie man, I'm the one that up the score with him. Walking down, whole time I know he got some pulling him. Extra shit, bully throwing him. Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they're in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him. They tell me Chubb's the only one that get your hand down. And party at the party playing with his nose now. And Papa got a real taste, why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified pedestal. God, fuck him up. I'ma do my stuff. Why you calling like a bitch, ain't you? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably...
They not like us. 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 They not like us.
I got all this shit hanging over my head, but you off trying to start a war with our partners.
The nigga diss me every time I see him, acting like he the one in charge and shit.
In Compton, he is the one. You lose. Every time you bite with that nigga, and I'm the one that pays for it. And you gonna get off his corners? You gonna leave his people be? Or you the one that's gonna find yourself a new plug?
You don't mean that shit?
The fuck I don't. I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk. Drive, motherfucker!
What are they doing here?
They're selling, Mortimer.
Well, that's ridiculous. Unless that crop report... God help us! I told you we shouldn't have committed everything, you asshole!
I gotta get Wilson and tell him to sell!
Wilson, where you going?
Oh, idiot! Get back in there at once and sell! Sell!
But I
Shout out to the dog Arthur, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate the support. But back to what we were saying, man. You gotta give the people what they want, bro. You gotta give the people what they want. And this is what gotta happen, yo. But lastly, let me bring out this, because this is also something that people need to, you know, you can dread it. You can run from it. I was just talking about this earlier, right? Avengers Doomsday. Y'all can talk all y'all want to. Look. Everybody's coming back for this movie. This is just some of the cast. right? You got Chris Hemsworth in there, Anthony Mackie, Vanessa Kirby, Paul Rudd's gonna be in this movie. Florence Pugh's gonna be in this movie. Wyatt Russell, right? You got Namor in there. That's gonna be back, right? Shang-Chi, which you have not seen Shang-Chi since his movie. How much did that movie make? Wasn't it like $800 or $900 million? Shang-Chi, right? Hold on. Let me make sure, because I believe it was something like that, right? It was a box office. Yep. Oh no, I'm tripping. Wait, it was 432. All right, 432. And what year was that? 2021. Okay. Right? May what? Ain't that the same? Whoa. Ain't that the same year that what's the name came out? The Suicide Squad? That was the same year, right? Yeah, thought so. Anyway, so I was tripping about the 8. But yeah, it was like 400. That was in 2021, right? Sebastian Stan, Black Panther is going to be in this movie, represented by Letitia Wright. But not only that, you got Kelsey Grammer coming back, right? Hold on, you got Winston Duke coming back as M'Baku, which is going to be a big thing, 100%. Loki's going to be in this movie. Patrick Stewart's going to be in this movie. Ian McKellen's going to be in this movie, right? Like, what are we doing, man? All the X-Men are coming back. Channing Tatum, who was just part of Deadpool and Wolverine, which made over $1 billion, if I'm not mistaken, right? And Robert Downey Jr. and more people. This is not even the whole cast that's in this movie. He said, Sideshow Bob, big shoes to fill, big shoes to fill. Yeah. The Suicide Squad and Shang-Chi definitely both came. I was about to say definitely both came out in the same year, right? He said he's gonna take the 10 rings and kill Kang the Conqueror, right? Crazy, man. This movie's about to be off the chain, man. What's going on, DC Talk? So we can sit here and we can act as if theaters are just dying because of the fact that, you know, people don't want to go, or we can deal with the reality that things have not been put in theaters that have made people want to go fucking pay money to go see it. He said Marvel fans eating a whole damn buffet while we're starving to just get a conclusion to our story. Wild, right? We're gonna get it though. But bro, everybody's gonna be in this movie, dude. Everybody's gonna be in this movie. right? So that's my take on it, man. All these reboots, what's going on, Crown Loads? All these reboots, he said Demon Slayer Infinity Castle made over $600 million and the budget was only $20 million. Dude, all it takes is putting things in theaters that people want to see. That's it. That's it. It's not some like weird, unheard of concept to give the fans what they want to see. The fans are much too discerning now. There's way too much content for you to try. Look, think about this. See, Netflix figured this out a long ass time ago, right? That's why they started doing what they started doing, which was competing for your time. They go by engagement. They want to keep people on the app. They want to keep people watching. So a lot of times, whatever people are watching, they will just keep giving you that. What more things like that, right? In turn, it's the same. It should be the same thing with theaters. You have to compete for people's time. There's way too much content. There's way too much streaming services and all of these things because streaming services and all of these other platforms, they have shit, tons of stuff that people don't watch, and so it doesn't get made more of. And why is it not the same thing for theaters? Except their thing is way more costly, and it costs more to put these things in theaters, and there's whole other costs that go into that streaming services don't have to necessarily deal with, right? So it's much more devastating for them to continue to put shit in theaters that people don't want to see. Why is this so complicated? Anyway, man, y'all put y'all last questions and comments down below, yo. We about to start wrapping this thing on up in a little bit. You dig? But man, oh man, oh man. Much love. We got Apex Lux in the building. What's going on, bro? Yeah. Yes, and have it, bruh. If they do that scene from you know what I'm talking about. I don't even want to describe it. But if they do that scene, bro, this movie's gonna make $2 billion. Like, I'm dead ass. If they do that scene, bro, right? If they do that scene, right, this movie makes $2 billion, bro. Just off that scene alone, bro. Just off that scene alone. If that's how they introduce this man, what's going on, bro? We got the dog. You know what I mean? He said, if it ain't making money, it ain't making sense. Said, I wonder if Cavalry will be in Doomsday. Yeah, I don't know. We gonna see. He said, that happens. I saw the teaser. Hey, we gonna see, man. Yeah, bro. Nah, but that's my point. That's my point, man. Look, I'm just all I'm saying, bro, is that if you give the people what they want, bro, the sky's the limit. Said the numbers on Box Office Mojo still have Demon Slayer Infinity Castle box office below Superman, yet it was reported that it passed. Hey, look, I'm gonna keep telling y'all, man. Y'all can't be listening to these outlets. You know what I mean? But let me pull up this real quick. Right, let me pull this up real quick. All right, no, I'm gonna hold off on members minutes till next time, right? He said you talking about Robin death scene. No, I'm talking about the Thanos with Doomsday. You know what I mean? But look, in closing, I just want to say, you know, these things are happening all over Hollywood. If you look at these franchises, they all seem to be going back to what was working before, you know, and things that were making money in the past, right? The not too long ago past, right? A lot of these actors are still in, like, if they could easily still play these characters, why not give it to the people, right? Why not give it to the people? He says, Sky, do you have a guess as to how long it will take for Netflix to buy WBD? I think that it could be a little bit before they fully announce it, and then after they fully announce that they intend to buy them, it's going to take about a year, maybe less, but you know, it all really depends on what kind of acquisition that is going to be, because of the fact that it's a streaming company and they're coming into a new arena in terms of them having a theatrical arm. It might be a little bit easier because it's not like a full merger in the two companies that are in like the same field in that aspect. So it might be a little bit easier, but you know, these things take months to a year, sometimes multiple years, even after it's announced, you know, and that's real talk. You dig? So I'm chilling, but as soon as it's announced, yo, we already know what's happening. He said, Sky, can you send the people? Oh, can you show people what I sent? Man, I'm not showing them that, bro. Nah. I'm not showing them that, bro. I'm not. They got to look it up, bro. Because for the people watching that haven't seen, I don't want, you know, I want that moment to be pure for them, bro. Can you imagine the shock on their face? Like, they're gonna be horrified, bro. All right, they're gonna be. He said, "Why this process needs to start now?" But what makes you think that the process hasn't been started? You know, what makes you think the process hasn't been started? Like, they're already in the process. The process has to take place. You cannot rush the process, right? because even on the day they announce it, you don't know how long they've been trying to get right, how long they've been in negotiations. There's all types of things that have to happen. And, you know, I know it sounds crazy, but it's just the truth. You know, because me being an Xbox fan, I've had to sit through quite a bit of these acquisitions, and they take time, yo, for sure. But I know that they know what's up. You know, and he said, "I tried, guys." Nah, I'm not showing them that, bro. I want them to see that. You know what I mean? I want them to see that fresh. Like, they gonna be like crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna catch y'all and next time we got cartoons and cereal tomorrow. Bro, don't get me started on this, bro. You know what? I'm gonna do a gaming video on this just because Sin Havoc said this. Right? Yeah. I'm gonna do a video on that just because Sin Havoc said that for sure. Because I'm seeing a lot of bullshit, man. It's like, bro, it's funny to me how like cancel Netflix, right? This Game Pass shit happens at the same time. You know, it's all these things, bro, like happening at the same time. And it's like, oh, like, you know, I'm going to just say this. I think it's very telling that, bro, I think it's very telling that Sony had a major first party release came out and everybody's talking about Game Pass. Like they just had a game that came out. That's a huge release. And the biggest story is Game Pass going up on their highest tier, which they have 3 different tiers of the shit. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. He said, "Goes to you, bro." Am I lying? Did they or did they not have a game that came out? And everybody's talking about Game Pass right now. It's like, what? And then, oh my God, I'm gonna cancel my Game Pass. Because they went up on their highest tier, but they're giving you way more stuff though. And they just confirmed that you're gonna get way more games per year. And it's like, oh. It's like, what? It is crazy, bro. Oh my goodness. This is crazy, bro. The internet is a weird place, dog. Like, I just be sitting back and I be seeing a lot of this shit, and I be like, yo, man. Right? He said, Sky, the price gonna go up again. This was so crazy though, bro. Look, bro, it's wild, right? Like, Nintendo went up on their game prices, bro. Sony went up, bro. Everybody's going up. Grand Theft Auto about to release at $100. Everybody's going up on their game prices. Right? But the highest tier service, when you have 3 different levels, it's like, bro, come on, man. why do you have to get the highest level then? If it's too much money, don't get it. Oh, my goodness. Vote with your wallet, people. He said the game industry blaming the tariffs on and the new rising price tags. Hey, man, look, I just think it's funny, bro. We gonna see. I'm gonna break all this down, yo, because it's just very funny how like all of a sudden these things are just kind of happening like at the same time. It's like, oh my god, like do this, and you know, hold up, watch this, like. All right. You see, I'm gonna go back to older consoles and games. Hey, my Xbox play a lot of that stuff, bro. You know what I mean? So you already know. All right, I'm about to get on out of here, yo, because I'm about to get into all this gaming stuff, and I don't want to do that right now. But look, I'm gonna be back with cartoons and cereal tomorrow, and yeah, I may have another stream for you guys this weekend. I'm not sure, but I might be tapping in with y'all. But I'm definitely see y'all on cartoons and cereal tomorrow morning, where we will be having a special weekend. Wait, actually, hold on one second. Let me check this. Hold on. All right, let me see this. All right. All right. See, today is the 4th. Wait, when does it come out? Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, because this week and next week we will have a special 2-week thing where we will be doing Twilight of the Gods. Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. Was it just this week or was it the next 2 weeks? But yeah, it is Twilight of the Gods this week and next week, and then we'll be getting into something that I want to watch the Saturday after that. You know what I mean? Something that I want to watch. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we doing Twilight of the Gods tomorrow. He said, yeah, half and half, right? Yeah, Twilight of the Gods tomorrow, and then we're gonna rock out with something after that. You know what I mean? So, yep. I'm gonna get at y'all tomorrow morning, and y'all have a good one. Peace.